Hello and welcome to another episode of Infamous. This is Brandon or Mutilus on Discord.
This is Parker, go by One Who Parks on Discord.
And this is Aaron, a la Treffenwood on Discord.
Welcome back again. So I guess starting it off today, are you guys currently working on any cool hobby projects?
I am not doing anything myself, but I'm trying to coordinate what I need to paint for Adepticon with my painters. Been in contact with both of them, actually excited to get some stuff for MCP and Judgment. So I got everybody working in their holes in various parts of the country.
Teams of people trying to get Parker to Adepticon.
Yeah, basically. So yeah, I'm excited. I think I'm gonna bring some Elsa, and as a backup list, I'm probably gonna bring some Weapon X featuring Maverick, and I'm excited to play with Maverick. Maverick is the model I still need, so I'm waiting for him to come here, and then we need some Krognar models from Judgment, and getting a bunch of those too.
Ooh, gross! You're playing Krognar.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you played Tauren.
I play a lot of things.
Apparently,
yeah.
I have reduced my 2-week look back in Path of Exile to a reasonable 110 hours. That means
that's almost a job.
That means I
in the wrong direction.
I should have time for more hobby stuff and some painting in the near future.
That depends on what you've replaced that Path of Exile time with. If it's building guides for Path of Exile, that's not good.
It's mostly in-person gaming.
Okay, good. Cool. I also should probably start painting for Adepticon. I luckily only have to paint like 7 or 8 models, so... but yeah. I'm currently spending all my hobby time 3D printing stuff, so while that's fun, it's not very productive in the painting category.
Are you making anything for Adepticon? I know last year you were a bunch of stuff that you were making.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably print out a bunch of like little stuff to bring with me in case people need things. And like my little business card things, like the priority token and the FG power token and stuff. I have some new ways of doing this planned that I'm gonna give a shot.
I'm excited for my dice cups.
Your dice cups?
Yeah.
I did. I don't think you came up, but Oh no, you were there, but I think you. Oh no, Richard was there, wasn't you? I did fix the issues with it that I had, so it came out very clean this time.
Nice.
And it's the right size.
Very pumped.
I was pretty close with my eyeballing it. I was impressed. I was only off by like 3 millimeters.
Literally, this being able to do this will probably fix all of my issues with like putting everything in my box at the same time.
Oh, the dice?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I wasn't going to show you this till tomorrow, but now because you said that, I'm going to make you jealous.
Oh, what?
I have something in front of me that's a prototype that I'm printing right now. Do you want to see it?
Sure. Magnum jealousy.
It's a tray that holds all your little stuff.
Oh, no, I see.
And so it even holds the deck box, and it locks in. It actually clicks if you listen.
Oh, my God.
Here.
Oh, it's satisfying.
But yeah. So there's that. It holds all 5 of your little tracker boards for Judgment and your FG power token and your deck box for your item cards. And it all just holds in one little tray that slides into the organizer.
Shit.
I should have those with me tomorrow.
Well, the problem is, if it goes into the organizer, what do I take out of the organizer, right? Like, I would need a
yeah, if you're on maximum space, then it's harder, but... I'm also designing a Judgment-specific token organizer that's exactly the height of the 3D tokens,
mm-hmm.
and it's also shorter because you don't need as much space when it's the correct size. So
yeah,
I'm making that. But also, you do what I did: just take all your garbage MCP stuff out.
Oh no, I have in one of my organizers is just MCP, and the other organizer is just Judgment. But
did you do the inverted tray thing we talked about?
Yeah, I do turn the models upside down. So that works. Like right now, what I have is functional by turning one set of models upside down. So it's not impossible to do. It'll just be really nice to do. Because right now, I'm still holding my Judgment dice in my hand, even when it's just Judgment in my box. So I'll be really excited to take the dice out of my hand. But that thing you just the thing you just said, was really cool.
Mm-hmm. I'll probably post a picture of it tomorrow in the Discord if people want to look at it. But it's pretty simple. It's just a little tray.
Oh yes, Miss Daisy. I'll be looking.
Mm-hmm. So Anything fun happening in Path of Exile, Aaron?
Nope.
Any new exciting stuff? I saw you guys posting a lot. Is that PoE 1?
No. So they're doing some stuff for PoE 1. One of my favorite things to do in PoE 1 was race. And I'm not exactly a hardcore super racer. But the way they did it in PoE 1 was there was like a race league that lasted for X many weeks. Let's call it 4. And they would run races every 12 hours-ish, like for different time zones.
Mm-hmm.
Races were an hour and they were fixed. The route was fixed. And you would basically see how far you could get in that hour. And then where you ended up on the leaderboard got you a certain number of points. And you accumulated points all throughout the season. And these points would unlock race reward specific uniques in terms of items or MTXs of items, right? Nothing that's like super powerful or expensive, but unique race rewards. And so I really enjoyed that. I would set my alarm for 2:30 in the morning to get up and play it for the 3 o'clock race from 3 to 4.
Mm-hmm.
And they are reintroducing races in PoE 2, except the only person who gets anything is the person who finishes it first. I'm like, well, way to take all of the casuals like me and just be like, thanks for playing.
Yeah. Because it's basically server first X and you're like grinding like a motherfucker to get something, but if you miss it by a second, you get absolutely nothing. And
instead of them being an hour, they're first to kill the Act 3 boss, which is going to take several hours.
Yeah, I would say you're probably in for at least 3 or 4 hours at the bare minimum.
I'm interested to see how quick people are going to kill him. It's probably going to be pretty fast.
Yeah, I bet you could do like a really specific build that would only be targeted at doing that.
Sure. And if people want to know life, plan that out over the next 2 weeks before they launch this, which I'm sure plenty of people will, more power to them. Their decision to give one reward to the winner and nothing to everyone else just makes you completely uninterested.
Yeah.
Like, it's either my favorite way to engage with the game or completely not interested. And they went the opposite. So that was what some of the discussion was about.
Yeah. Did they ever announce if they were going to do a season for PoE 2?
They will do a economy reset, which is essentially a new season without any new season mechanic. So they're not going to call it a season.
Okay.
So Path of Exile has traditionally, every season comes with a mechanic.
Mm-hmm. I would have assumed in beta they weren't going to do something like that, but
correct, and they won't. There's no way they can because the game isn't even balanced for launch yet.
Yeah, exactly.
But I still don't think they'll call it a season. I could be wrong.
Because they're not going to lock out old characters. They're just going to do like a marketplace reset.
Nope, they'll lock out characters.
Oh, okay.
You can still play your old character in that league, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't like trade back and forth between your old character and a new one if you created a new one in the new league.
Mm-hmm.
You should be able to create a new character in the old league and then just play in that league forever and never leave if you wanted to. That's my guess. That's probably not coming until, I'm guessing, mid-April. We'll see.
Do you have a lot to paint for Adepticon, or is it just Carva?
Jaeger.
Oh, he's the next one?
He's the next one, and he should be legal for Adepticon based off of timing. And based off of just the model itself, I really want to fucking play it, so I hope he's good, but not OP broken. And if so, then I may play a bunch of Jaeger. We will see.
I would assume they'll probably be selling him at the con, if nothing else. But Adepticon's painted only, so that might be annoying for some people to have to try and paint it at the con if they don't have access to it beforehand.
Would be slightly annoying. You're not wrong.
Parker, I'm most of the way through Freerun.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It's been good.
It is.
It's just hard to watch multiple episodes when I'm going to bed because it is kind of slow.
Oh yeah, it's definitely not it's not a sleepy, or rather, it is a sleepy time show if you want to go to sleepy time.
Yeah, if you want to go sleep.
Yeah, it's.
I usually get through the one episode and then I'm asleep. But also I've been going to bed super late. So
well, I could tell you that the last 4 episodes are like really awesome. Like they're really like there's a lot going on, but most of the show is very, very chill. And I actually watched something just the other day because the internet knows I like Freerun. I watched a video about how when artists... Okay, so I picked Freerun because it showed up in my feeds a lot, and I didn't know why it would. And after I got to watch it, I was like, wow, that was really interesting. But I'm always watching things from a storyteller's aspect. And come to find, now I know why it shows up on my feeds all the time, and why it made such a big splash is because from an animator and like an artist standpoint, Frieren breaks a lot of rules, and I didn't really think about it until after I watched this, YouTube on it. Just talk about like 15 minutes about how Frieren does something that a lot of like cinematography and specifically like drawing and animation rules, they just break them on purpose, and clearly it's on purpose, right? Because it's very like artistic in the way that they do it. It's not ham-handed, but like one of the things that I did notice about the show is there is a fuckload of negative space a lot. Like you'll just kind of hang out and it'll just be like this weird angle from like below Frieren's chin, and it's just a bunch of sky and Frieren talking. And you're like, why is that there? It's like artistically it doesn't make a lot of sense. But the video is just about how clearly the artists were making like specific decisions in certain moments to just use to break rules like negative space and lines and where people are looking as opposed to where the terrain is looking and the foreground and the background and all these different things. I just thought it was really interesting, and it made me wonder how much from the artist standpoint, they're like, he loved Frieren, right? Because they were doing all these really interesting things with it. And I wondered how much of an effect that was having on me, because I didn't see them because I'm not an artist. But
yeah,
I did really like the show from
kind of, the whole point of the show is almost to break the standard, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it all fits into the theme of it's not about the hero's journey. It's about the journey after the hero's journey, which is kind of bizarre.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like, obviously she's carrying you through this, almost like changing of eras, right? Like it's like you see the world that she lived in for so long, like falling away almost. Mm-hmm. And then the new world that like all the younger characters are from is like being born. And so like she's like the transition between these two periods, and she just doesn't fit within the world anymore.
Right.
And so it's all interesting. I caught up on Solo Leveling Season 2.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's good.
It's fucking great.
It's good.
That show is
it's very fun.
That show leaves, to me, I like Overlord a lot, but I feel like it leaves all isekais in the dust. I feel like it is stronger than Overlord by factors, actually. I really, really like Solo Leveling.
So I disagree. I think Overlord's still noticeably better than Solo Leveling. But I think Solo Leveling is surprisingly good, considering it's the exact opposite of Frieren, right? Like, it's like, there's no real important plot. It's just, like, murder porn.
Action.
Yeah, it's action and, with homages to RPGs and stuff, because it's an isekai. But yeah, there's almost no story in it at all. It's starting to get some catches to it, right? Like, they're introducing characters that are actually important now. Mm-hmm. And so it's good. But yeah, Overlord, with the flaws that Overlord has, it 100% has character development and intrigue and like relationships in the show that you care about. Solo Leveling has none of that.
One of the things I love about Overlord is that they don't. There's so much mystery. There's huge open holes of like missing understanding, which is really fun to watch, because you're constantly like coloring in the missing spaces that are left open by the plot and the perspective we get to follow around with different characters. Solo Leveling has none of that. It's very much just like next thing, like you said, it's very much on a rail.
Yeah.
It's the next thing in front of you it's not even a rail. It's more like an action RPG, not an open world RPG, but what do they call that? A hallway RPG where you can't turn left and right. It's just
side scroller.
Yeah, you're just going straight. I really
watching Solo Leveling is like playing a video game.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's engaging, but it's not compelling.
Yeah,
but I like it. I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's also the world building. The world they created is an interesting one. Like,
it is a cool world, but a lot like Star Wars, it's not well fleshed out yet. But you can tell there's opportunity to build that world by just taking a step out the room, right? There's like, it feels like the world is very realistic,
right?
But they haven't shown it to you yet.
Yeah, there's some things I love. If you're paying really close attention, it's starting to become more like Overlord, and there's a couple characters they've introduced that have just disappeared from like the last 4 episodes. And you're like, that character seemed really important, but he's just gone. Where is he? What's he doing? Like, he's got to be doing something really important. We don't know, right? So there are lots of things like that in Solo Leveling. The thing I'm actually keeping up on right now, or what I'm watching in the middle of, is the 2nd season of Arcane, and I love the first season so much, and I purposely didn't watch the second season because I told myself I wanted to watch the whole first season again and then the second season, but I couldn't. I just could not. I could not find a moment like a time span where I could do all of that because the show is so long. It's like 45 minutes to an hour every episode, and so I said, fuck it. I'm just gonna start on season 2 and just see the show. But so far, it's great. It's just so good.
So the movie for Overlord is on Crunchyroll now. And I really want to watch it, but it's in subtitles, and I hate subtitles. So, which I'm sure everyone who likes anime will hate me for, but it's what it is.
My only problem with subtitles in my life currently is that one of the times I like to watch television is when I'm actively occupied doing something else.
Exactly.
And I can't. That's the only thing I don't like about subtitles. It doesn't bug me in any other way.
It turns what would be like a 10-minute investment to a 2-hour investment because I have to actually actively watch, and I can't like look away to do anything or I'll miss a line off to back up. Any new animes you've tried that you liked?
Me?
Yeah. No, Aaron. Aaron, are there any new animes you've tried that you liked?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Parker, I was talking.
No, I actually started watching Arcane because I watched Cyberpunk again, and I was just like, I opened up Crunchyroll and did just kind of thumbing through it all, and I couldn't find one that stood out to me or one that I was really excited about. There are ones that I've heard are really good, and so eventually I'll probably try them, but honestly, nothing was really jumping out to me. And that's one of the things about anime is it's hard for me to jump into an anime. I just have to have somebody tell me kind of what to do. Usually, Frieren was odd because the internet kind of told me what to do, and I trusted it, and it worked out. But usually, somebody has to be like you did with Solo Leveling. It's like, just watch Solo Leveling, and I was like, okay, and I just hit play. But
it doesn't take long. Like what usually on an anime, it takes 1 or 2 episodes, and you know if you're gonna like it or not.
That's true.
It's pretty rare that will give you a curveball.
I did try the new Trigun, and I tried it for an episode and a half, and I couldn't get through it 2 episodes. So it's just like this is hot garbage.
I know I told you this in person. I don't think I've said it on the podcast yet. I put that on, and I swear to God, I watched the first episode. I remember the first episode ending. I can't tell you literally one word of anything about the show. I don't know if I've blacked it out or it was just so boring I couldn't watch it. But it's just like I don't remember a single frame of the episode.
Yeah.
I remember that it was Trigun, and I tried to watch it, and it was bad. That's all I remember.
Which is, to me, the opposite of the original Trigun, because I remember watching I have rewatched the whole Trigun as an adult, and it locked me in from moment one. And some people I know don't like the end of Trigun, but I loved it. I loved everything about the whole Trigun.
If they just cut the last 5 minutes off of it, I would love it. It gets so weird at the end.
Yeah, for me, you can't, and it's probably something I should do again. Every Western themed anime I've ever watched, I think I've really enjoyed, and I probably should just do more. I say every, but of course, the latest Trigun was absolutely terrible, and it was Western themed. So yeah, what do I know? But
did you watch Samurai Champloo?
Yes, that one is not Western themed.
It's not a Western, but it's got a similar tone to it.
Yeah. I did like Samurai Champloo. You want to talk about a boring show, though? I felt like Samurai Champloo was pretty boring.
Okay, it is slow. I wouldn't call it boring, but it's been a long time since I watched it. So, okay, let's try and bring it back to something Aaron likes.
We don't have to.
We don't have to. Wow.
Aaron's he's making some rings, I bet, right now. Aaron, what rings are you making right now?
You are close. Amulets.
Amulets. That's a word I love. Amulet.
Parker, has anyone told you are a very unique individual?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to say they're correct. There are plenty of words to love. Do you know what word I love the most?
Go ahead.
Wasserschutzpolizist.
Oh. Is that German?
Da.
Mm-hmm.
That was Russian, but yes. It means waterborne police officer.
Ooh, I like that.
We don't have a word for that
in
English. We have multiple words you can put together to make that. But in Germany, they're just like, fuck it. You want to say something? Let's just smash 4 German words together to make one German word, and it works beautifully. I love it.
Yeah.
My favorite word ever.
My favorite word ever was smock.
Once again, how many fucking times were you dropped as a baby? Fucking hell.
I love the word smock. Like what it describes and how it sounds, they don't seem to jive like together at all. I love it. Like if you were to ask me to name a painter's shirt 1,000,000 times, I would never use the sounds smock. Like I wouldn't. That was not what I would use. And so the fact that the word is so strange to say, and like I don't know. I don't think that like that sound construction rolls out of the tongue for very many words. Like I don't know how many words have that construction inside, and so for it to kind of hang out there by itself and also to describe this one particular thing, I think it's probably my favorite word, smock.
Yeah, you're no longer unique. You're just fucked up.
I don't think
smock originated as a Middle Ages word to mean loose fitting pullover garments.
Yeah,
but you're okay with the word shock.
Say again.
I said, but you're okay with the word shock.
Shock.
It's just smock that's a problem.
No, it's not a problem. We're talking about words we like.
He likes it.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah.
I like the word smock. I just feel like it's unique.
But not shock. Shock is not unique, but smock is unique.
Shock is not unique.
The M and the H are like visually.
I'm trying to figure out what exactly about the word smock differentiates it from every other similar word.
Well, it's not the differentiation. I mean, every word is slightly different, right? But or else it'd be homonyms. But but the word shock, using like an interdental fricative and then the vowel, I feel like it's more common. Like that kind of thing happens. Smock, like it's just like when you make it, it feels funny. Like
what about smog?
Smog. Yeah, there you go. That's another.
Okay,
word.
so it's the sma that's got you all kerfuddled. Okay, it's the sma. Okay, we are deep into the we've been canceled about 20 minutes ago rabbit hole.
We're deep in the ham crate right now.
Yeah, amulet.
If anyone is still with us, please just post some random shit about your quote unquote favorite word and why.
Yeah, I like that.
Only the real fans will @ Parker in Discord and say their favorite word.
Yeah.
Only the real fans.
They'll understand. Would you like to know what turned me on to the word smock as like a really interesting word? It was a Calvin and Hobbes comic from circa 1995 or something. I read all the Calvin and Hobbes comics. They made big compilation books. And one of them, Calvin asks Hobbes, I think Calvin is reading something, and he's like, man, I just can't stand reading. And Hobbes is like, I like words. He was like, what words? And he goes, smock. I was like saying it, smock, smock, smock. And I remember from that moment going, smock, smock, smock. And then I did not know what the word meant, but I loved that comic, and I loved like the concept of somebody loving a word, and it stuck with me forever, and I still like the word smock.
But not smack.
No.
Okay, we need to move on. Brandon, train. Move it forward.
All right, here we go. Did you know that in Germany they have a sausage made out of other sausages? It's the worst of the worst.
I appreciate you tying that in to my favorite word.
I did.
We're going to leave it at that.
This is me telling a dad joke every episode Jeremy isn't here. I have a long list that I've been saving up, and a lot of them are even good. Hold on, I have to send this to Jeremy. Can't waste it. Alrighty. What events are you playing in at Adepticon, Aaron?
I am playing in Blood Bowl 7s on Thursday, and then Judgment Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Like, 7s is like just less people on Blood Bowl pitch?
Fewer people, but yes.
Okay.
I have never played the format before.
It's new to me, so I was like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, it's a smaller pitch with only 7 people, and I think no rerolls.
Oh, okay.
And you can only take like one of each positional. There's something. I'll figure it out the day before I show up and do it.
Yeah.
But apparently the games take like 30 to 40 minutes. They're super fast. I just did not want to play Judgment 3s or the MCP Thursday event. So
yeah, I think Phil tried to run something like that at the shop once.
I've heard not great things about the format, but I really want to go in with an open mind. And I understand it is definitely a more casual format, right? With no rerolls and 7 players, shit can go south pretty easily. So I will probably bring a very funsies team to play, and obviously just try to have a relaxed, good time on Thursday. All the naysayers be damned.
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to Thursday of Adepticon. That is.
Oh, I was like, well, you're pretty close. We're like an hour and a half away.
That's true. But I'm really looking forward to Thursday Adepticon because we've got the MCP. I'm going to do the MCP Heat 1 for the Invitational bit. And this will be the first one that I've ever played in that I actively am not interested in playing in the championship rounds, because I would much rather go play some Judgment instead. And so it will be really fun to play with for the very first time ever in a major con, playing to win but not caring about the outcome, just having fun.
Are you going to scoop to your opponents, or are you going to Dream Crush people?
Dream Crush probably.
There's no probably about it. Come on, say it with pride, Parker.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're not going to take the invitation if you get it, and your goal is to have the most fun possible, scooping your games to your opponent means that you'll be playing people in the losers brackets, which means that I think, in my opinion, you're more likely to run into other people just looking for a good time.
Well, what's the best way to put this?
You don't want to be a wuss.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna just push my models into a meat grinder all day.
No. I'm not saying you play to lose the game. I'm just saying once the game is concluded, you concede. Like, regardless win or loss. Like, hey, I scoop. Like, you got it.
No.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't.
I'm just curious. I've seen it done multiple ways. I don't usually do that either, so I was just curious.
Yeah, I was gonna say no.
But also, usually, like, my goal is to, like, if I go in not trying, I still want to place. So,
Parker, you should try to win day 1 and then drop. That should be your goal, without it being like the hope and aspiration. That should be the aspiration, but
don't tell them you're dropping until, like, you show up late. like, make sure somebody gets paired against you and somebody didn't make the cut.
No, I
so
would
that
never
you
do
could
that.
not show up.
I would never do that to the TO. That would not be something I would do. I would let them know probably like the day after, like Friday, that I'm not going to be able to make the Saturday event. But I guess what I'm saying is I just don't need to play in the big show, right? I don't need to do that this year. I'd much rather play some, another game that I'm really enjoying. But I love the feeling of an MCP tournament. Playing like 4 or 5 rounds of MCP is really fun back to back. And if I don't do the tournament, I don't have the opportunity to do that. So I'm going to do it. I really do enjoy going down that path. I also love the competition. The Timelines tournament at Adepticon last year may have been probably my favorite single tournament event ever, because I was playing a lot of people. We were all just like figuring things out. Nobody was uptight. Everybody was just like, it was a lot of really competitive people playing at a high level of play, but everyone's just kind of like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Yeah, we're going to play with this shit. So I don't know if I'm going to have that similar experience in this tournament specifically, but I am excited to bring that mindset back to Adepticon. That's the last tournament I played at Adepticon, and I really enjoyed that. That was a really great way to play at a major event. So I'm going to bring that same mindset back with me.
Cool. So far, I'm just signed up for the Judgment stuff, and I don't know if I'm going to take the cameras or not. I haven't uploaded a battle report in a long time, just because I've been so busy. But we'll see. I'll probably reach out to Wonky, see if he wants me to record anything, and if he doesn't, I probably won't bring him. All right, you guys ready for our Mojo world?
Mm-hmm.
Parker, did you spend your time wisely?
Oh yeah, I am now primed. I went from 1 to 8.
Nice.
800% growth.
All right. This week in Mojo World, we are going to rate our favorite depictions of an alien on screen. I only chose movies. I assume you guys did the same.
Yes.
I have one television.
Shit!
I had one television show alien that I don't think I'm going to use, but I am going to give him an honorable mention.
All right. All right, let me find our little thing here. Okay. All right, so I get to go first this week because I came in dead last week. Hell yeah. I'm going to go with, let's see, I think it's, just want to make sure I have it right. I got in trouble last time. John Carpenter's The Thing.
About to have a heart attack and die from not
saying.
I was about to say, about to have a heart attack and die from not surprised.
Yeah.
You love that movie so much, and I'm happy that you do.
It's a great movie.
I'm not taking I'm not taking it from you.
Yeah,
it's
really, also of like the alien monster movies. I think it's just the best because it's got the the horror, the psychological horror of how horrible the thing is, and then you should also like the suspense and everything. It's so great. All right, Aaron, you're up. Did I take your number one?
You did not.
Good.
I was hoping you would take one of the ones I'm deciding between. And there are so many. I think we have to go with Predator.
Ooh, that was high up on my list.
Just such a cool race, cool concept, the backstory. I mean, I realize they have made several movies about it, but I think there's so much more they could do with it beyond just the pure action that it kind of was.
It was a pure action movie, and it was still amazing. Like, even though it's a fairly one-dimensional movie, it's awesome.
Sure, I just mean with like the backstory of the Predator and the race, and they touched on some of it with the pyramids and all that kind of fun stuff. But I'd like to see them delve more into that.
I've read a lot of since Marvel and Image Comics. I think Image owned the rights at one point. Now Marvel owns the rights for them. I've read about some of their background and stuff. Their race is called the Yautja.
That I did not know.
Mm-hmm. And they're like in some of the extended fiction, like when human beings start, traveling across the stars in the future, like we know about them, like they're just like another race, but they're still very mysterious, like isolationists. They're cool in the extended fiction.
Okay,
it's Mac's favorite movie from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but for a slightly different reason.
The biceps.
It's the best display of man meat you can get for 90 minutes. Anyway,
no
Parker,
sleeves.
You're up.
I get double, right?
You get doubles. Yeah.
Number one, my favorite ever is Yoda. I love Yoda.
Waiting for a movie.
What?
No, it's a race. The Yoda race.
I'm waiting for you. Got to give the movie though.
Oh, which movie Yoda do I want?
Yeah, for sure it matters.
I was just gonna go with Puppet Yoda, which would be from
Empire.
Which would be from 4. No, which would be from 5, 6, and
you got to pick one.
9.
You gotta pick a movie.
Right? Those are Puppet Yoda.
That's how this whole thing works, especially when there's multiple depictions of the same character.
I want Puppet Yoda. I want not.
You want Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, sure. That's my favorite Yoda, is Puppet Yoda.
All right. You don't like the somersaulty Yoda?
Yeah, I really don't like Jedi Master Yoda. I like old hobo Yoda. Hermit Yoda.
Hermit Yoda, yeah.
Hermit Yoda, yeah.
Jim Henson Yoda.
Mm-hmm. And when he reappeared in The Last Jedi, man, that movie was not great, but that one scene made me just love that movie. It didn't matter. My second one will be I'm going to go with the Wurms from Dune. Not the original movie, the new ones.
W-U.
Wurms from... How do you spell it?
I don't know if they spell it weird.
I think it's you.
Yeah, it's not like
I didn't know if there was... Is there a different spelling for Wurms in Dune?
I don't know. I don't watch Dune. You guys watch Dune. This is not my problem.
Yeah, it's called a sandworm. Just sandworm. It's pronounced
sandworm.
No, it's...
And we're going to go Dune 2023.
Yeah, I'll look at...
What year did it come out? Let's put Beetlejuice Sandworms.
Dune Part 1.
All right, Aaron.
2021. It was 2021.
Gotcha.
We are going to take the Cardassians from Star Trek.
Which one? One?
No. Primarily from Deep Space Nine.
That's a TV show.
It is. They're introduced in the Star Wars lore in... I don't know if it's in a movie.
They're
I'm
all
going to say it is. They're definitely in a movie somewhere, but all the background's in Deep Space Nine.
How do you spell Cardassians?
Cardassians.
Alrighty. Back to me, and you guys chose one movie off my list. I'm going to have so many honorable mentions. Oh my god. I'm fighting myself so hard because I could just pick my 3 favorite movies. Okay. I have to pick District 9 because it was just such a cool depiction of aliens in general.
I'm going to hold my tongue.
You
you and
hate
I
it,
have,
or
no? You and I have very different opinions about District 9, but we've hashed it out too much. I'm done.
Okay.
I will grant you that the aliens were not the bad part of that movie.
Yeah. No, the whole concept of like the alien culture and like their like species was really cool.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think I just have to go with the tried and true aliens.
The xenomorph.
Xenomorphs.
Yeah, the xenomorph from Aliens with the queen and the eggs and everything. So many I want to pick though. All right, Aaron, what's your last?
We're gonna go with the Jawas.
UDD. When I was a kid, for the longest time, I didn't know it was Utini, and so I would say zucchini because I could swear that's what they said. It made me really upset when I found out later.
So do you want Jawas from episode 4?
No, I think I prefer them in the the newer one. I don't remember which one they're in though.
The newest depiction would have been...
I can give you Jawas from the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I know how much you like Baby Yoda.
The Jawas and the Mandalorian get down.
They do.
They date the gal, the old repair gal.
Sure, we'll do Jawas from the Mandalorian.
I'll have to look up Jawas later.
Jawa.
I got it.
Oh, okay.
I'm so good. All right, Parker, final pick, and we get to list our 100 honorable mentions.
Yep, I'm going to go with the Iron Giant.
I guess he is. I mean, hold on. Is he an alien life form, or is he just a machine from another planet?
What do you mean? He's like sentient, right?
I guess it never occurred to me that he would count, but like...
Life form doesn't have to be biological, right? Artificial,
doesn't it?
He's an artificial life form. Like the Borg would count, but nobody said Borg.
Well, but they have biological parts. Like they are actually alive because they can die. Can the robot die, or would he just be like lose power? And
yeah, he would
give
cease
him
to
more
function.
Yeah. Sure, you could break it to the point where he couldn't be recovered, but I don't know if is it alive. I don't know. I don't really care. I'll let Aaron be the decider, but I would just assume that it wouldn't count. Like would the robot from Day of the Earth still count?
I don't remember it.
It's because it's a true robot. It's not Android. It's just a machine.
Then no.
It's like would the ship from Aliens count? Which that one probably actually has organic stuff.
Unless it is able to achieve sentience on its own later. In which case, yes, it would be an extraterrestrial life form.
I'll definitely give you that he's probably AI at minimum, right? Like he is sentient. I would say that. So if you're just saying he's sentient, that counts. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Parker can lose the bet. Not the bet.
Iron.
So I'm keeping the Iron Giant, or am I getting
yep.
new one?
No, it's fine.
Got it.
Yeah,
cool.
It never trying to think of a good example.
Because he learns, like he grows.
It's like Doctor Who does the TARDIS count as a alien.
Well,
like it's intelligent. It seems sentient in the show.
No
part of it is alive.
There's an episode where she walks around like she's a person.
Well, that again, it's sci-fi. Like that's a specialty episode. Yeah. But yeah, it's basically super advanced AI that has a personality. Right. It's like the computer from Star Trek is clearly not because it's not sentient. It's just interesting. I didn't even consider it. That's why you threw me when you said it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. All right, who wants to go first with honorable mentions?
Can I just lay them all out? I'll lay mine all out. Here we go. The Martians from Mars Attacks.
God damn it, that was on my list. That's so funny.
Zoidberg, but that's a television show.
Yeah. We gave Aaron 2 television shows.
The Na'vi. I know a lot of people don't like those movies, but I like the Na'vi. But the best alien that was from a very small part of a television show, because I didn't think it would really count for this, but he is the best one, is Ori Marco, also known as Prune Face.
From Robot Chicken.
Yeah. Slaying loads of sweet ass. Prune Face.
When your face is a prune, action, go boom. All right. So to actual good honorable mentions, I have My Favorite Martian with Christopher Lloyd. That movie is hysterical. I remember from my childhood. Galaxy Quest, I almost pulled my fucking hair out to not say. So because I've already named it so many times.
What's the name of the aliens in that one?
I honestly have no idea. I can't remember. The Calaxians or something like that.
That sounds right.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter. Like, they're so fucking funny. And the concept of, like, they're completely peaceful, super advanced alien race is like, and they don't understand what violence is or betrayal. And then the next one I really wanted to name, but it's not my favorite movie, so I didn't, is The Arrival. It was just a really cool way to represent aliens.
I like The Arrival.
It was a really good movie. Aaron, do you have some honorable mentions?
Nope.
No? I was going to let you have Fifth Element, but apparently you didn't want it.
All the Fifth Element characters that were awesome to me were the
Keyfinger.
Were the humans.
Keyfinger guy.
The humans were the cool ones.
There's whatever the alien was that came down into a female's body and she had to have sex with men in order to reproduce. That was a good alien.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I think he's just quoting Basic Instinct, but
oh fuck! Hold on, I gotta find it.
Aaron, believe me, there's plenty of these movies. You don't need to look one up.
Yeah, I'm sure it's the plot of many a porn. Now, I have to ask Aaron, why the Cardassians?
Oh, Species. It was called Species.
Oh, Species.
Yeah, that's what. Oh, that's the movie I meant to say. I said Basic Instinct, didn't I?
Yeah.
That was the other movie on cable TV at the time, which was basically Basic Instincts.
Why
softcore blockbuster?
Why Cardassians? Aaron, I'm just curious.
It's Cardassians, right? Not Kardashians.
Sorry, definitely the Cardassians.
Both basically both evil races that are quasi-human. Okay. Star Trek is very vanilla. In both the original and Next Generation, because Gene Roddenberry oversaw that, and his vision of the future for humankind was that of utopia. So you'll notice that there's not a lot of intra-human quibbles and fighting in those two. Deep Space Nine, he was no longer, I think, in charge or around, and the show takes a different turn. The entire series does. It's much grittier and darker. And the Cardassians are kind of a mirror for humanity throughout the entire series. They are evil and like production focused, but as a race, not as individuals. The individuals are more nuanced, and you have some altruistic good Cardassians and some not. It's just very, very interesting as a foil for the entire series.
Gene Roddenberry passed away 2 years before Deep Space Nine launched.
Okay.
I believe he stepped away from Next Gen before that as well. But he was there for most of the show.
So I appreciate all of the I want to say background lore, behind Star Trek, Klingons, Romulans, whatever. But they're very, like Vulcans are the way they are, right? Klingons are the way they are.
Everything
Cardassians are much more nuanced as a race, while being interesting at the same time. So that's why Cardassians.
I don't have a horse in the race, but I was just curious why. It's interesting.
No, it's a good question.
One of my favorite races in Star Trek was always the Ferengi, because I thought they were a very similar concept.
They're so fucking annoying, though.
They're annoying to you,
guys.
Yeah, they're the ears guys.
Well, I like
to me.
Well, they're kind of like the goblins of like traditional fantasy.
Whoa!
They're like traditional fantasy goblins, where they're very self-centered and kind of cowardly individually and conniving, and they see themselves as being superior intellectually to other races. And they're often taken advantage of because of their greed, and it's just kind of they were one dimensional. I just liked them in the universe because everything was Pax Utopia and everybody had what they needed. So what do hyper capitalist turd blossoms do when everybody has everything they need? Like it's kind of a interesting concept, I thought. Kind of like the Cardassians. They don't fit the rest of the racial molds. So
last honorable mention, I guess, for me is the Kalon from the Orville, which is their advanced machine race, where they're all AI because they rose up against their human oppressors, which they were actually being horribly mistreated, which is kind of interesting. If you haven't seen it, the beings that created them, they made them for service, and then for generations they're just in servitude, and everyone had their own personal robot that did all their work for them. And eventually it got to the point where like they were fully sentient and they wanted freedom, basically. So instead of giving them freedom, they developed a device to cause the machines pain if they didn't listen. And then so for generations after that, they were just being abused by their owners by like basically torturing them into service. And eventually they just rose up and killed everyone. And they literally they just dumped all their bodies in giant, huge underground mass graves. And they're like, all right, new society with only machines. And then they advance their technology to a hugely outpacing everybody. And then they, start going and mingling with other races. So one of the characters on the show is one of their ambassadors that you meet. And then there's this cool storyline with them. But it's a cool race.
That is a show that I totally dismissed as another, like a weird Family Guy sci-fi knockoff. Yeah. And then come to find out later, it was actually a super serious, interesting sci-fi show that I really, really should watch because I think I would appreciate it.
It's really good. I really, really like it.
The internet has sent me many, a scene or two from the show, and a lot of the concepts. You want to talk about like a cool race? The race from the hypergravity planet, like that. They seemed like just a super cool concept. Lots of really cool concepts explored in the Orville.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the race, but they're basically like everyone's Superman because they're like their gravity's like 11 times Earth gravity, and so everyone that grows up there is incredibly strong. But they don't value strength at all. They value intelligence because strength is easy for them, and so everyone on their planet is extremely well educated. But also when they leave their planet, they're like superhuman, and you're like, what the fuck? What are these guys?
Right. Other people want to use them for muscle, but they resent that. Yeah,
they're all like physicists and stuff. They're like, what the hell are you talking about? Like the dumbest person on their planet has like a PhD. Yeah, they're pretty fun. Yeah, I think a lot of people assume that Orville is just Space Family Guy, and some people hope it's going to be Galaxy Quest, but what it really is just interesting Star Trek, where the characters are interesting.
Yeah, I would call it more like from what I've seen anyway, it looks more like modern Star Trek, right? Like Star Trek with, even though Star Trek at the time was pushing what you could talk about on television, and that's why it made such a big splash. This one is, doing a more modern take, really expanding and exploring concepts of Star Trek. I don't even know if they would have ever thought to go to, right? Just cool ideas.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like you expect it to be just like fart jokes and stuff, but it's actually just really good relationships between characters that's really intriguing, and then they have really great takes on how sci-fi would work within like a real world. And so they really dig down into like the minutia of like, well, what would happen if you had access to time travel? Like what would actually happen? And like you really have to think it through, and like the backlash of shit going on, and then like what happens when you create like the Prime Directive stuff where it's like, well, you can't interfere with an alien race, and if they're not of like a certain technology level. It's like, well, what happens if you do though? And then like you see the backlash in real time, and you're like, oh shit. And so instead of just quoting these rules, they actually like you have to live through it.
It's just really hard for me to watch live action Seth MacFarlane and not expect there to be a fart joke every 4 seconds. Like I just can't. It's really fair. And so I have to kind of just suspend disbelief about him as a performer.
I've never had a problem with him. I mean, I think if you you know what you're getting into, because you like Family Guy, don't you?
No, I love Family Guy. I liked what is A Million Ways or 1,000 Ways to Die in the Old West, or the West. Like I liked both. I like his stuff, but that's the thing is I've come to expect him and his voice and even now his face because of the movie. Like I've come to expect something from him, and the show is definitely not that. And so I kind of have to just partition out in my mind this is not going to be that guy. That's a joke every 5 seconds. You know, it's
he's definitely the main character, but there's plenty of screen time without him as well. Like I think you get into it pretty quick.
I think I'm capable of it. It's a weird thing because I've grown up with hearing his voice associated with my favorite funny stuff, and so it's hard to pull apart.
Okay, Parker, do you have a comic corner for us?
No, actually, a lot of the comics I've been reading recently, I'm still like in the middle of, and none of them have wrapped up yet, so I don't have one today.
Okay.
I'm reading so many right now that are currently like coming out, but no, I don't have. I don't really have it on this moment.
All right. Well, happy birthday, Parker.
Oh, thanks.
And good job, Aaron, for coming up with a sweet Mojo World segment.
Oh, once a year, people.
Aaron has a no miss of all of 2024 and 2025. He has not missed on a single topic.
I don't have a comic corner, but I do have a comic present I got for my birthday today. I don't know if you guys can see it from here. It's
ooh, nice.
It's the Lego Star-Lord helmet. So it comes on like a little Lego stand for it. It's pretty.
That's a mask, not a helmet.
It's what the box says is helmet, but it is his mask that he wears in the movie.
I'm going to start a letter writing campaign.
It's pretty good size. I'm excited to actually build it and put it together.
Nice.
It came out like mid last summer or maybe early summer, and I saw it in the Lego store at Chicago when I was there with my family, and I saw it on the shelf, and I literally saw it there, and I had that. I don't know if you guys ever do this, where you see something and you went, "I'm going to buy this now," and I just kind of stared at it for a while, just like, and I started to like reach my hands up, like,
can anyone stop me?
Yeah, I was just like, I wanted it so bad, and I was like, you know what? No, this is like, I never want something off the shelf. I buy things for my hobbies. That's what I take off the shelf. I never walk down an aisle and see something that I want. I never do.
Yeah,
that.
How often do you walk into a big box store and you just stop in the aisle and you're like, I have to buy this?
Right. This is
like it hasn't happened since you were like 18.
And it happened right then. I was just like, I want this. And I was like, you know what? I never feel like this. And because of that, my family never knows what to get me. And so they always get me stuff that they just have to guess, and they're almost always wrong. And so I'm going to give my family this bone. And so I turned around and just pointed at it to my wife, and I said, I want this. I'm not going to get it now, because if I get it now, I will deprive you of something that you could be, because I don't need it now, but I want this. And she's like, okay. And so, 6 months pass by, and it's December, and my wife is buying things for Christmas, and she remembered that this thing was something that I wanted, but she's like, I'm going to focus on Christmas right now. And then right after Christmas, literally during winter break, she's like, I'm going to go shop for Parker's birthday now. And they disappeared from the planet Earth. She could not find a Star-Lord mask anywhere. She even went on to shady shit from China, websites that aren't really websites.
Crap,
yeah, who knows what it is. She went and what was it I was there one weekend early in January. I came upstairs and she's just weeping, just openly weeping. I'm like, what's going on? She goes, I've been trying to get your birthday present, and I'm just going to tell you what I've been doing, because she was so upset, because she spent a whole day traveling, hoofing it around the city and calling and emailing. And
did she go to KC Brick over here by Tabletop?
Where she eventually found it was a Lego store. And it was not the Lego store. It was a Lego store. There's multiple of them in Kansas City, and she found it from one of those. But it was so I am very, very, very happy now that I have it. The point of the story is that my wife worked really hard, and so it made it pretty special. Also, she learned a lesson. If I point at something, just fucking buy it. That's what she said.
Well, she can't buy it while you're there, but she probably should have prioritized getting back to it sooner.
Right.
Yeah.
It was on the shelf at Target when I came back to the city. It was still around.
Yeah.
So She could have got it right then, but now she knows. If I ever point at something, she needs to get it soon, or else she may not. I may not
Or
get it.
understand that the item is limited and not like this is just now a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which unfortunately is true way too often when it comes to like hobby or game pop culture stuff.
And to be fair, the number of times in our marriage that I've ever done that is one hand, right? I can count on one hand. Like I very rarely want anything ever.
Oh sure. I mean, I'm not saying she did anything wrong.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Let's go ahead and get out of here. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed. This has been Brandon.
And Parker.
And Aaron.
And you just listened to My Favorite Alien.